Welcome back to Maths in an Empty Classroom with me, Mr. Southern. This is the third part of the lesson on solving more complicated equations with exponentials and natural logarithms. And this final example here, very similar to the one that we did in part 2. So we have 2 to the power of 3x times by e to the power of x minus 1 equals 8. So it looks very, very similar, there's just a little bit more going on here. Process is going to be the same. I'm going to start by applying ln to both sides of this equation. Remember, using the big square bracket because I'm applying ln to the whole thing, and inside this bracket I have the product of two different things. It's 2 to the power of 3x times by e to the power of x minus 1. On the right hand side it's just ln 8 because I've taken ln to both sides of that equation. Now, because this is a product, two things being multiplied together, we can separate this out into two lns as we did in the previous example. So I'm going to write that now as ln 2 to the power 3x plus ln e to the power x minus 1 equals ln 8, because the right hand side of the equation hasn't changed. Ln 2 to the power of 3x, that 3x using the powers rule of logarithms can come down to the front here. So this can now be written as 3x ln 2. Again here we've got ln e, the inverse operation is going to cancel each other out, just going to leave me with x minus 1. So plus x minus 1 equals ln 8. Now at this stage we notice we've got something slightly different here. We've got 3x ln 2 plus x minus 1. So with the previous example, everything on the left hand side had an x term. This one here, we've got this minus 1. So before we think about factorising to get x on its own, I'm going to add this 1 over to the other side of the equation. So 3x ln 2 plus x equals ln 8 plus 1. Remember, the bracket around the 8 is really important so that I don't think in my next line of working that it's ln 9. Here, again, I have x appearing in two places in each term. So I have x bracket 3 ln 2 plus 1 when I factorise equals ln 8 plus 1. And then dividing through, x equals ln 8 plus 1 over 3 ln 2 plus 1. It looks like we're done, but we're not. There's more to this. And the reason there's more to this is that ln 8 can be written slightly differently. Now if I do that bit over here, ln 8 now, 8 is 2 cubed. So I can write that as ln 2 to the power 3, which is the same as 3 ln 2. Now you may be ahead of me at this stage and see what's happening here. If I substitute 3 ln 2 back into this equation in place of ln 8, you notice that I have 3 ln 2 plus 1 on the numerator, 3 ln 2 plus 1 on the denominator. This is a number. This is the same number. A number divided by itself is 1. So the solution to this equation is actually x equals 1, which you'll either think is beautiful or irritating depending on your philosophical perspective. Personally, I think it's beautiful. If we go back and check it, it makes perfect sense. If x equals 1, 2 to the power of 3x, so we have 2 to the power of 3, which is 8. If x is 1, in this bracket I have 1 take 1 is 0, anything to the power of 0 is 1, so I have 8 times 1 equals 8. There you go, beautiful.